Hello, this is Auka John Kaiser from the Kimathi University of Technology, and today we are going to talk about music as an aspect of culture and demonstrating its importance. And the discussion will include the importance of gender awareness in the African society. So, the abstract introduction of itself. African culture is one of the most diverse and vibrant in the world, and it's expressed through language, art, religion, and communal practices. Among its most enduring and unifying elements is music, which is deeply woven in fabric and African life, unlike in many Western contexts, where music is often viewed primarily as an entertainment. African music historically functioned as cultural language that communicates values, expresses the identity, preserves history, and fosters unity. It is present in rituals, society ceremonies, education, political struggles, and daily life. Equally, it's important contemporarily African society's recognition of gender awareness within the field of music, which calls for inclusivity, equity between men and women, in which cultural participation and lead in women in cultural participation and leadership. Together, this dimension demonstrates that music enriched by gender awareness is both cultural treasure and a tool for progress. So, music being a tool for progress, it can be seen music can be seen as spiritual and ritual practice. How is it seen spiritual and ritual practice? One of the most broad roles of music in African culture is its spiritual significance, in which in traditional religion, music acts as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual realms. Drums, chants, songs used during the rituals to invoke ancestral spirits, communicate with deities, and mark sacred occasions such as harvests, parts, and initiations. For example, the talking drum in Western Africa is not merely an instrument but a medium of spiritual and social communication. Okay. Even in contemporary times, music remains as central in African religions' life. In Christian churches, hymns and gospel songs are powerful tools of worship, while in Islam, chants and rhythmic recitation from part of devotion. The persistence of music in spiritual context demonstrates its importance. Yeah, in connecting the people and the define of maintaining cultural continuity. Okay, another one, music can be seen as a tool of social cohesion and identity. Music also plays an indispensable role in fostering society and identity. Across African societies, music accompanies almost every stage of life: births, marriages, funerals, and communal festivals. Through song and dance, individuals participate in collective experiences that strengthen bonds and belongings. The call and response singing style, common across the continent, symbolizes the communal nature of African life, where individual expression is harmonized with collective participation. Music also can be seen as a tool as education and political expression. As education and political expression. In addition, it's spiritual and social functions. Music in Africa culture has been medium of education and political reliance or resistance. Folk songs and proverbs embedded in music transmit moral lessons, historical knowledge, and cultural wisdom for children Lullabies and praise songs teach values of respect, responsibility, cooperation. For adult, work songs not only erase labor but also reinforce communal solidarity and reliance. Yeah. Historically, music has also played a central role in political struggles. During colonial rule and apartheid, protest songs became tools of resistance and survival. They conveyed coded messages, fostered courage, and identified communities in the face of oppression. This legacy continues today, and as modern African musicians use their platform to address issues such as corruption, poverty, gender inequality, and social justice. Thus, music remains both a mirror of society and catalyst for change. Uh, those are the tools music can be seen as. It can be seen as education and political expression, seen as cohesion in African culture, social cohesion and identity. It can be seen as a spiritual and ritual practice. For example, like music as education and political expression. The political expression, such as an example, is like the maandamano in Kenya. People, the Gen Zs use the songs to express their attitude attitude towards the Kenyan government, which fostered courage and unified community in face of oppression. So we can talk again about gender awareness in music, gender awareness in African music. While music is central to African culture, its practice as historically reflected gendered divisions of labor and opportunity. In many traditional contexts, men were more visible as drummers, instruments, and praise singers, while women were relegated to singing, dancing, or performing an ritual in communal ceremonies. Although these roles often complemented one another, they mirrored wider patriarchal system that limited women's visibility and leadership in musical spaces. However, women have always been essential custodians of musical heritage. They composed and performed lullabies to to children after birth, or when they need them to sleep. They performed lullabies during initiation songs, and work songs that transmitted cultural values and sustained identity across generations. Despite being overlooked in formal stories, this contribution ensured the continuity of African culture. Recognizing this through gender awareness not only historical imbalances but also validates the critical role women have always played in preserving African culture. Yeah, recognizing this through gender awareness not only corrects historical challenges but also validates the critical role of women have always played in preserving the African culture. Okay, the transformative role of gender awareness in our African culture. We can say the importance of gender awareness in African society, particularly in music, lies in the capacity to promote inclusivity, equality, and empowerment through youths, adults, or children. By encouraging and supporting women's participation as composers, performers, instrumentalists, and producers, societies broadens their cultural horizons and unlock untempered creativity potential. Today, women such as Emi Arade, Tiwa Savage, they stand a global ambassadors of African music, proving that women are not only participants but also leaders shaping the future of the continent. Content is cultural expression. Furthermore, gender awareness in music provides platform for advocacy and social transformation. Female and male musicians alike use songs challenges gender-based violence, area marriages, and discrimination, raising awareness and influencing social attitudes. By amplifying women's voices in music, African societies reinforces broader struggles for gender equity in education, politics, and economics. Yeah. Finally, gender awareness ensures sustainability and global reliance of African culture. It ensures sustainability and global reliance of African culture, inclusive cultural practices, enrich the diverse of expression and strengthen African culture. Influence of cultural practices. By offering both male and female contribution, African music becomes a symbol not only heritage but also progress, reflecting the continent that embraces justice and inclusivity.